Lauren Boebert had a recent Republican debate in the district that she's ran to in hopes to resurrect her dying political career, and boy did it go real bad, real fast for her, as the moderator was not playing her games, not letting her escape his questions, and got straight to the point. So of course, I want to look at a few of these clips, watch her political life crumble before her eyes, as we've also interviewed the two most likely Democrats she'll be running against this November, so let's see how she measures up to them.
You've repeatedly taken credit for projects in Colorado that you asked for funding for, but then you voted against the bill in the end. Bridge over the Roaring Fork River in Glenwood Springs, water treatment plant in Gunnison, I-70 interchange in Grand Junction. You're able to vote no and get the praise for voting no because you know that there are enough other Republicans who are willing to vote for those bills so they'll pass. My question for you is this, and just a short answer, it truly is a yes or no question. If you were the deciding vote, would you still have voted no and killed all of those projects in Colorado that you now take credit for?
Yes, and I would have worked for a process. I would have worked for a process to get those over the line, but I worked to get those in, and I have had over 80 initiatives signed into law through the appropriations process.
I appreciate the direct answer. Thank you very much.
Yes.
What he's referring to here is the infrastructure bill, which Boebert did vote against, and I love how Republicans are getting their feet held to the fire about this exact thing. They vote against these bills strictly because they're Democrat bills, and knowing that they will ultimately pass anyway because they have large bipartisan support anyway, only to then turn around and take credit for the money coming into their district. So they get the MAGA support from trying to own the libs and not voting anything Biden passes, but then they also try to get the support of their constituents who are actually feeling the effects of her ineffectiveness in passing anything. So she's like, oh, well, I brought all this money here, even though, as she was just exposed in this line of questioning, that if she was the deciding vote, she would have voted no and no money would have came to her district. Obviously, only because the bill was from Joe Biden and she wants to tribalistically just go against anything that Democrats do, clearly showing that she is more for herself and the interests of her party than she is for the American people that are within her district.
Did you apologize for the behavior that went on with you and your date or the vaping, or did you apologize for lying to voters about what you did that night and the disrespect that you showed to service workers that night? What specifically were you apologizing for?
I don't believe there was disrespect. There were things that were absolutely taken out of context.
There's video of your interactions with service workers. I'm asking,
right,
are you apologizing for the lying to voters
that I
or
flipped
the
someone off and I did not. So, I mean, I think it's been very mischaracterized. I'm apologizing for you, Kyle Clark, getting footage and releasing that. And people seeing this in a very private moment.
Certainly. It was very important to figure out whether you were telling the truth or whether a public agency was lying about your conduct.
You just had an interview with CityCast Denver, and you were saying...
She said she's apologizing for them releasing the footage. So again, a Republican who's not sorry for their actions and is putting the blame in other people, not themselves. She's only upset that she got caught. That's the only part she wants to apologize. I mean, the video is public and clear for anyone to see. She obviously acted in a very disrespectful manner towards the service workers. And I mean, the behavior itself that she was indulged in towards a family movie in Beetlejuice is pretty inexcusable in and of itself. I mean, there could have been children around. There could have been anyone around, right? Which probably explains why she was so quick to get defensive and try to point fingers at the moderator or anyone else because, well, it's the only thing Republicans know how to do, let's be honest.
How many bills did you prime sponsor? I said 38 I prime sponsored, not co-sponsor, because you can co-sponsor post facto. Anybody can put their name on a bill after it passes. How many bills did you prime sponsor in the U.S. Congress that actually were signed by the President of the United States?
So thank you so much, Richard. You know, it's interesting that you're touting the legislation that you have passed. You also say that you are a no-nonsense conservative. Well, I think the voters back home should know that a no-nonsense conservative should not have a failing Liberty score. We have the Independent Institute who scores representatives for their legislative record. And if you are not voting how you campaign, well, then you get a negative impact. And I'm the only person.
Would you like to answer the question, or would you like to talk about Liberty scores?
Thank you. I would give you one more opportunity if you would like to answer his question, which is the number of bills you've prime sponsored that have been signed by the president.
So my Pueblo Jobs Act has been signed into law.
A number, please.
That is one.
So in 3 years in office, her grand achievement for the constituents she's supposed to represent is one bill. And she has plenty of social media clips. Don't forget that, right? That's her grand really champion achievement. And that bill is a rather small bill that's menial anyway. So She quite literally has the record of Trump. No wonder she supports him so hard. This was a great line of questioning from whoever the other Republican was and highlights how super partisan Republicans are and are becoming. They no longer know how to work in a bipartisan fashion, you know, how the government is literally supposed to operate, saying, oh, the Democrats isn't an excuse because, well, guess what, guys? There will always be two differentiating parties. And guess what? Republicans would never give that excuse to Biden and say, yeah, that's fair. You know, there are Republicans in the House, so that's probably why he hasn't passed anything, which, again, I mean, they couldn't say that anyway. Biden passed a bipartisan gun bill, bipartisan infrastructure. He passed the PACT Act and the CHIPS and Science Act, all with bipartisan support. You know, the way you're supposed to legislate. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video. We even have memberships available as low as $3 if you'd like to support, because the only way we become a society is together.